Hi, and welcome to Cosmic Consciousness with Cassia. On this channel, we discuss all aspects of the ascension process. I have a variety of different services that I offer to assist you in your awakening journey, and if you're interested, you can check those out in the description box below. Today, we're going to be talking about the new moon in Leo, and this is going to be happening on the 18th or 19th of August 2020, depending on where you are in the world. If you guys caught my weekly astrological forecast that I just put out yesterday, then you're aware of a lot of the energies that we're going to be feeling and experiencing with this new moon. I feel this new moon kind of as like a coalescing of all of those energies, but also for some sort of like a breaking point. And so this is going to be a breaking point, and this could go either way depending on what our experience has been so far. It could be a breaking point in terms of like everything that's kind of been simmering under the surface just coming to a head. And this could be positive or negative. Like it could be a breakdown or a breakthrough, depending. And really a breakdown is a breakthrough, right? Because once we're able to break down, then we fully surrender. And then the magic is able to happen. I'm feeling a lot of magic with this moon, and it is going to be very emotionally intense. It's a new moon, not a full moon, but we have all of that Leo energy. We have a ton of cardinal energy, actually, and then quite a bit of fixed energy as well. We have the sun, the moon, and Mercury all conjunct in the sign of Leo, which is that fixed fire energy, right? And then we have a whole bunch of different cardinal energy going on as well. So with this fire energy, with this Leo energy, it's that bigger than life kind of energy, right? So our emotions, because the moon's in Leo, are going to be feeling bigger than life. Our thoughts, our minds, the way that we're perceiving things, the way that we're perceiving ourselves, right? And we got into this in the weekly astrological forecast when we were talking about when we have the sun conjunct Mercury, especially in a sign like Leo, this can indicate a tendency to be a little bit self-centered when it comes to our thoughts. Like we're really thinking about ourselves a lot during this full moon. We're thinking about ourselves. We're wanting to express ourselves. We're wanting to be seen. We're wanting to be heard. We're wanting to create. We're feeling very passionate, very inspired. And because of a lot of these squares that we have going on between Mars and Saturn, Jupiter, and Pluto, we're also feeling a little bit boxed in some ways. And so some of that frustration may come to a head, or we may have a breakthrough and a sudden realization on how to deal with that. But like one way or another, what this week, which is sort of like climaxing, I feel like, with the energy of this new moon, and when I say this week, I mean like the week leading up to this new moon, and then the week following as well, we're still going to be in these energies. But like we've been building up with this past week kind of to this crescendo. But it's really taught us a lot of things. It's been teaching us a lot of things about what we want and how it is that we feel we're capable of achieving that or getting that. And we've been coming up with a lot of energies that are showing us that we're perceiving sometimes as obstacles, right? We've been coming up with all of that Plutonian shadow material that's still in there, kind of blocking us from being able to, or we're perceiving it maybe as blocking us from being able to enact our will in the world. We're coming up with our faith and our ideals, and how those are sometimes working against us. Like this desire to expand with all that Jupiterian energy, but then kind of like feeling that push-pull and that tug, and kind of like our expansion is being blocked in some way. And for some of us, we may not even know exactly what that way is. And if you're one of those people who feels like you've been blocked and you don't understand what the block is, this new moon may offer some insight into that for you. So just be open to whatever insights are going to come your way. We have a beautiful sextile going on during this new moon as well between Venus and Uranus. And so this is going to really inspire us to think outside the box. It's going to give us, it's interesting because we have this, with the Mars energy, this masculine energy that's squaring all of these heavy hitting planets and really feeling kind of boxed in and sort of like stunted. Like our masculine energy is coming up and it's feeling like it's hitting these walls kind of, right? And then at the same time, we have our feminine energy, which is feeling really empowered. We have this square going on with Chiron, which is actually just seeking to empower and sort of inflame the feminine spirit more, because we're coming up against all of those wounds when it comes to our empowerment, when it comes to our ability to assert ourselves. when it comes to all these areas where we felt repressed, and we're really like, that friction has caused, I've noticed, a lot of women in my reality to really like rear up against that. And it's like that tension aspect that we get with the square, right? So to really like overcome that and step into their power, which is beautiful. And those of you men who are watching this, your own feminine energy has been going through this as well. And really, that's what, even though the masculine energy feels like it's hitting those walls, at the same time, that's inspiring the masculine energy to really dig deep within itself and overcome those barriers. It's like, okay, so this is an obstacle that I perceive. This is something that I perceive. And I always say perceive because so much of it is really in the mind, right? And it's the reality that we create. And so we're really understanding that and being like, okay, but like, this doesn't have to be the end of the story. Like, there's another way. Like, if I can't get through it, I can get around it. And if I can't get around it, I can get over it, right? I just have to understand and sort of strategize and come to terms with and realize, like, why is this what it is? Why is this here? What is the gift in this? What is this teaching me? And that's part of how we overcome that and move through that. So the masculine energy is, even though there's that frustration, I feel with this new moon coming to a place where the masculine energy as well is like understanding sort of and these things, and how a lot of them have to do with its internal stuff, right? And some of this is societal. I mean, this is Capricorn energy. So it is authority. It is all of these things. We may have been feeling these issues coming up with bosses, with people that have authority over us in some sort of context, whether it's society at large, right? These different institutions in society, whatever it is, feeling boxed in by that. But there's always a solution, and there's always something that we can learn from that. Even if like what we can learn is like, this is not the reality that we're trying to live in and trying to create, and it's time to create something new, right? I mean, there's always something to learn. So the masculine energy is feeling that. The feminine energy is going through this examining of the wounds sort of being inflamed and then like being driven to action because of that. But it also has this beautiful sextile to Uranus, which is adding to that rebellious spirit, adding to that desire to be free and to really be authentic and to get rid of anything that is holding us back from being authentic. So it's a really interesting kind of relationship that the masculine and the feminine energies have with each other right now. And yes, when I'm talking about the feminine energies, I'm talking about Venus. To me, I'm more traditional than some other astrologers. So the way that I look at things is I look at Mars as our masculine essence, and I look at Venus as our feminine essence. Although I do look to Black Moon Lilith as well, because that is an aspect of, it's like the divine feminine is the fusion between those two aspects. So I do pay attention to that too. But that's just an aside. But yeah, all this beautiful Uranian energy as well, and that sextile, and that like really, it's interesting because we have Venus in her ultimate feminine nature, right? Being in the sign of Cancer, the sign of the mother. So it's like we have that, like the feminine is learning how to be that beautiful Empress type energy, if we're talking about like the tarot, right? How to be in that beautiful Empress type energy, that nurturing Earth Mother energy, but also how to stand in her power. And the fact that those two can coexist at the same time. Like we can be nurturing and stand in our power at the same time. It doesn't have to be one or the other. And we're really learning and understanding how to do that with our feminine side. And then our masculine side is becoming more empowered and sort of understanding all the things that are blocking it from its empowerment so that those two energies can work together. And we're going to be getting into this a lot more on this channel, just the merging of the masculine and the feminine and the balancing of those aspects of ourselves, because it's such a key to the ascension process. We cannot ascend into a higher consciousness until those two aspects of ourselves are balanced. And this year, this is another video that's going to be coming out soon. The Blue Lunar Storm year, the galactic calendar, is all about that polarity and the polarization and those two aspects and the ultimate merging of those two aspects of ourselves into one unified being. And so, yeah, we're seeing the different interplay of our masculine and feminine energies right now as they're coming up against these blocks, and then they're realizing that they're not blocks at all. They're gifts and they're lessons that are empowering us and showing us the places where we can work on ourselves a little more, the places where we're still feeling and perceiving ourselves as less than what we truly are, and really being able to step into our power and to step into our role and to step into our purpose, which is what this year is all about. And this next half of 2020 is all about, is really that empowerment and working on that and being that force in the world. And so it's really great with all of this Leo energy that we can capitalize that and we can use that to our advantage. Like, yes, as we talked about, it is a bit of a risky combination when we have Mercury, the sun, and the moon all conjunct in Leo. But it's like we are able, sometimes it's good to be able to focus on yourself a little bit. This is going to be really helpful energy for people who tend to give all the time and not give enough to themselves, because it's really teaching us the value of caring for ourselves and loving ourselves and like putting ourselves first once in a while. This is an energy and a moon where we're really going to want to put ourselves first. And we have this beautiful trine going on with Mars at the same time. And so this is an energy where we can really shine. If we don't succumb to those fears and those insecurities that are being highlighted by these squares right now, with all of the big daddy planets, right? The Jupiter, Saturn, Pluto. Like if we don't succumb to that and we instead really sink into this Leo energy, right? Like Leo in its highest expression is very confident. Leo is very, very loving. It's that charismatic. It's like tapping into our charisma, tapping into those things that make us unique and make us shine. We can really be seen and noticed for that right now. So it's a beautiful energy of being able to step into that and embody that and see where that leads us and see like what are the things that I can put in place in my life that are going to allow me to continue to shine my light in the world. This new moon is giving us the courage to do that if we allow that to happen, right? New moons are about setting intentions, right? It's that fertile cycle right before the moon starts building up to the full moon. We have this new moon or this dark moon. And it's like, that's the prime time to be seeding our intentions. So this Leo energy is perfect for that because it's really going to aid us in setting those intentions and being like, really focusing in on that Leo energy, that fifth house energy, that creativity, that charisma, like noticing and loving ourselves and giving ourselves validation and recognition for the things that we're good at, and really understanding with all of this Mars action as well, like what is it that I want? Like even with these squares, we can use those to our advantage and be like, okay, like I feel like I'm being blocked here a little bit, but like these blocks are helping me realize like my desire to overcome these is showing me something. Like why is it so important that I overcome these blocks? What is it that I'm trying to gain? What is it that I'm trying to create, that I'm trying to manifest into my life? And then forget about the insecurities, forget about all of that outside stuff, right? Like the outside is misleading. This physical reality is misleading, right? We have to learn to look beyond what the physical world is showing us and feel with our intuition. Feel with that aspect of ourselves, that spiritual, that super conscious, higher consciousness level. Like really understand that there is, like what we can see is just a fraction of what reality really is. And there is so much happening in the non-physical. And not to be too invested, like obviously we have to operate within reality, right? But at the same time, like not to buy into that completely and to just believe that's all there is. Like there are resources that we don't even know of. There are solutions that we can't even see. And so it's allowing those solutions to come to us and just being open to that. By just being open to that and really harnessing this hopeful Leo energy of like, I can be anything, I can do anything, I am capable, I am good enough, I have what it takes, and really instilling that in each other as well. Always being supportive of each other. The energy that we put out is the energy that we get back. When I'm happy for somebody else and I have gratitude and I have just this overwhelming sense of joy when I see somebody doing well, that energy is then magnified, and that comes to me as well. And the reverse is true of that as well. So we want to be really careful of and like the opposite of those energies. We really want to try to like love and support and celebrate everyone in our lives who's doing amazing things, and continue to do those amazing things ourselves, and really surround ourselves with the people who see that in us, who see that star, that Leo star quality in us, and are rooting us on and supporting us. And just know that not everybody is going to, but that doesn't mean that what you're doing doesn't have value. Just because somebody else may not see the value, if you know the value is there, stay true to that. Stay true to yourself. For a lot of us, this is kind of a period where I hate using the word test, but it's sort of like we're being asked to stay true to ourselves, to stay true to our vision, even if things in our outward reality aren't necessarily lining up with that, and we don't understand how things are going to develop, or these fears and insecurities are coming up that are telling us that maybe this isn't meant for you after all. It's like pushing through that and like staying the course. And we will be rewarded for that if we're able to do that. But it takes strength, it takes dedication, and it does take hard work. As so many of us are coming into our mission and coming into our purpose and getting into that synchronicity and that flow, I think we have this misconception that sometimes that means that we're not going to have to try and everything's just going to be handed to us. And that's not, like, we have to show up. You know what I mean? Like, we have to show up for our lives. The opportunities are going to be there. The resources are going to be there. But we have to take advantage of those opportunities. We have to utilize those resources. We have to do that footwork. And you know, we're being shown right now where that's going to be asked of us, and we're being asked, like, are you willing to step up and into that? So yes, I want to check and see. Yeah, and we also have some interesting action going on right now where we have a sextile to the true node and a trine to the south node. And this is with the sun, Mercury, and the moon. And so this is an energy too where it's like we're really looking, but it's trines and sextiles are positive, beneficial aspects, right? So we're really looking at where we've been and where we're trying to go, and really understanding. I think for some of us, there's going to be more understandings that come as well, talking about like the blocks that we're understanding and those realizations and epiphanies that may happen for some people of like how those, why things happened the way that they happened and the bigger picture around that. And we're looking back at our past, but we're not looking back at it, or we're being given the opportunity not to look back at it with judgment, but just to look back at it and to really like take this time to give yourselves a pat on the back in true Leo fashion, right? And be like, look how far I've come. Look how much I've accomplished. And look how much more I am ready to accomplish. And just really in that energy of looking at where we've been, but really focusing and moving forward towards where it is that we're going. So that's a really exciting energy that I think that we're dealing with as well right now. And so we're just going to get into the cards now. And as usual, we're going to pull some Black Moon astrology cards. I absolutely love this deck so much. Every single time. If anyone is considering it is definitely worth the money. I absolutely enjoy it. And it wasn't, when I say worth the money, it wasn't really expensive either. I don't know why I put it like that. It's worth taking a look at. And so tell us about this new moon in Leo. Guidance for the new moon in Leo. Okay. All right, yeah. Yeah. So the first card was Sagittarius. I see. And so this is that breakthrough that we were talking about. That understanding that's going to happen for a lot of people. That breakdown or breakthrough where all of a sudden we have these realizations and these epiphanies and we understand more, right? Like it says I see, but I'm feeling it right now as like I understand. Like, oh, okay, I get it now. And I actually want to just sort of look through the book and see if there's any additional messages. There's so many different possibilities. Like, if anyone is, I don't know why, I'm feeling like maybe somebody is looking for a deck right now, and this is why I keep talking about this. If anyone's thinking about a deck, this is great because you can learn about astrology. The book is amazing. There's so much information in here and so many interpretations for the cards, and it's basically like, I mean, it is, I guess, an oracle deck, but it's really fun. We're not going to read all of this because, like I said, there's a ton of stuff in here, but it says, luck is not chance, it's toil. Fortune's expensive smile is earned, which is kind of what we were just talking about, right? With this, like, we have to put in the work. Like, we will receive the blessings and the opportunities, but we have to act on them, right? You're just about ready to hit your mark. The sign of Sagittarius is ruled by the planet Jupiter and is a mutable, easygoing fire sign. The ancient symbol for Sagittarius is a half-man, half-horse, known as a centaur, a creature trained in the art of archery, who always manages to hit his target no matter how far he roams. Yes, so this is like talking about speaking your truth. Speaking your truth, not taking the fact that others may be offended by your truth, but that doesn't mean that you shouldn't speak it. Sagittarians are highly idealistic, creative, outdoorsy, and have a great sense of play and fun. So those are things like we're talking about with this Leo energy as well that we really want to incorporate into this, is that play and that fun. Yes. When the Sagittarius card turns up in a reading, freedom at the current time is essential. You will feel the need to fight against restrictions of any kind and want everything out in the open. You want to know where you stand. Yes, and then this can indicate for some people travel and different things like that. Like Sagittarius is the gypsy, right? The gypsy and the student. Your future looks promising because you're ready to expand and grow beyond your limits. If you do encounter difficulties, you will surmount them easily and move forward to your next lucky break in life, which should be coming soon. So that's great. This is a very favorable card. I like that we went into the book for this because I feel like that's just confirmation for a lot of the stuff that we were talking about. Like that insight is coming, that inspiration is coming, those opportunities are coming, but we're going to have to put in the work, and we're going to have to stand in our truth and stand in our power, and really, like we were talking about, stand by that when, even if we feel like we're not supported, maybe by all of the people in our lives that we thought were going to root for us, maybe by the different structures in our lives, wherever we feel we're perceiving these blocks and these obstacles, like, we can absolutely overcome them. We have the Aries card and the Mars card coming out together. I am and force. And so that's pretty powerful. And this is like we're talking about with all this heavy aspects going on to Mars right now. All of the empowerment, this empowerment of the masculine energy that we're experiencing is this is standing in our truth, right? Like who we are. I am. And so this whole idea of I am and how powerful that statement is, right? And how whatever we say after that is basically an incantation or a spell that we're putting out into the universe. When I say I am a cosmic being, I am a creator, I am the architect of my reality, I am successful and abundant. Like, that is a statement that I'm making to the universe, and then the universe is responding to that. And this is our internal talk as well. The way that we talk to ourselves, the universe is listening every single second of every day. So really being careful about that and really thinking about, like, who am I? What is the destiny, right? We have the Yod card here, destiny, that I want to create. What is the legacy that I want to leave? And am I ready to do what it takes? And so this is intensely powerful energy. This is energy, I mean, this is dynamic. Like, this new moon, we're setting the intentions for the rest of 2020. Like, we talked about this in the weekly astrology. Like, what goes on, what we're experiencing right now, these themes are going to keep coming up throughout the Mars retrograde, throughout the rest of the Chiron retrograde, throughout the rest of this year of 2020, basically. And so we really want to pay attention to the themes that are coming up now and work through those, because those, whatever it is that's coming up for us right now, the ideas, the inspiration, the passion, the drive, those are the keys toward our purpose and towards the unfoldment of that. And any of these blocks that are coming up, we want to address, because when we address those, the entire world, our destiny, opens up before us. And so there's going to be, we have the entire population experiencing this right now on a collective level, right? If you guys want to understand more how this is working for you on a personal level, reach out to me. I do personalized ascension transit charts where we look at where all the different planets are transiting in your chart right now, any major aspects they're making to your natal planets, what that and how that energy is playing out and possibly going to play out for you in your own personal life. So reach out to me for that if you would like. But the world is collectively going through this in one way or another. And so there's a lot of people really fired up right now. And there's just so much of that energy in the air. So we're going to be butting heads with people sometimes. We're going to be it's that energy. This was a Sagittarius card, but I was feeling that when it's talking about the freedom and the rebellion, I was feeling that Uranus energy too. Uranus goes retrograde tomorrow. So this is, those are going to be heavy themes as well that we're experiencing. And so people are going to be rebelling. Like some of this energy, it's just all this fiery energy is going to be bouncing around. And there are going to be circumstances that come up that are going to force us to step into our empowerment and to continue to do that consistently, right? That's how we build a new habit, is by doing it consistently. That's how we build a muscle, is by working it consistently. And so we're going to continue to be confronted with these situations that ask us to call on our power so that we can really cement that in and we can really know and believe how powerful we are. That's what we're learning right now. That's what I'm here. If people get nothing else from my channel, I want you to understand how incredibly powerful you are. That is my mission above all else, is to really help people to tap into their own empowerment and to realize, once we all realize how powerful we are, there is absolutely no stopping us. And so that's what's going on right now. And so these people, these situations that challenge you, that force you to step into your power over and over and over again, are doing it to refine you so that you can grow, so that one day you just walk out your door and you are 100% owning that energy, that I am energy. You know exactly who you are, and nobody or nothing can tell you any different. That's where we're being led right now. That's what all of these challenges and all these obstacles are here to teach us, is how to do that. But we want to, as we're learning how to be empowered, we want to make sure that we're not and we have the third house messages, which is all about communication as well on the bottom of the deck. We want to make sure that we're not walking all over people either. We want to be able to find that balance of how to stand in our power and our strength without being overbearing, right? That's the lesson of the masculine energy as we're refining this, is it's not about weak masculine energy is very meek, right? But distorted masculine energy can also be overly overbearing, because that's the way that we feel like we have control. And we're learning that we don't need to do that. There's a way to stand into our power, to stand in our power, but to do that with love and compassion. And we are learning that, but it's a learning curve, right? Especially for those of us who haven't really stepped in and owned our power before. Sometimes we are going to come off a little bit off the top, and we're going to have to roll that back a little bit. And so, yes, messages. I always, when I see this card, it makes me think of psychic downloads and stuff like that too. So that just the way I'm placing that under the Sagittarius card, where I was talking about those breakthroughs that people are having, I feel like there are going to be a lot of those breakthroughs coming through for people. And yeah, messages in general. There may be messages that people are receiving, communication that somebody is receiving that is going to really like instigate this and bring out this Mars energy in them. So whoever that is for, like what I was just talking about with the like stepping into your power in that way that's still compassionate, like that's really important for you to do that and to really take that time. Like Mars, all this Mars energy can be very, and the Leo energy too, right? Can be very reactive. It can be very like something comes in, we don't like it. We're especially in this process of stepping into our power. And so we snap back with something. Like we don't want to do that. We want to take that time to assess the situation. I actually, in the weekly astrology report as well, was talking about how the 20th is a great day for conversations that need to happen, that need to be cool and clear-headed and logical, because Mercury moves into Virgo that day. And we also have the moon in Virgo. So with an opposition to Neptune, I believe. So it's very clear-headed kind of energy. So you may, if somebody has some communication coming in around this new moon and it kind of like sets off that fire in you and you're not really sure, like you want to react, but instead you take that time to respond instead. Like reaction is that gut instinct, that primal gut instinct that oftentimes we regret afterwards. Responding is when we take the time to really decide how we want to approach a situation, right? We move into that divine masculine energy of being like, okay, this needs to be addressed, but let me take a step back first and decide how to do this and make sure that I'm coming from a cool, calm, and collected place. So some of you may want to do that, and you may, if communication comes in that you're not quite sure how to handle, if possible, you may want to wait to respond to that until the 20th. And then we also have solar eclipse revolution on the bottom of the deck. Oh my God, you guys. And then fire element desire. So much fire, you guys. So much fire. This is going to be so intense. Like there's part of me that almost wants to recommend like locking ourselves away and putting away our phones and just really taking this time to dig deep into what it is that we desire for ourselves and maybe not have communication, because I'm telling you guys, this is going to be intense. But it could also be intense in a good way for people. Like this could be, for some of you, this could be incredibly beautiful messages coming in. Things that you've been waiting for, things that you've been hoping for that just haven't transpired yet. And all of a sudden someone has the courage to put how they feel out there because of this big-hearted Leo energy and this Mars energy that's assisting that. Right? We have that trine going on with Mars and Aries. So feeling empowered, feeling brave. I'm feeling for some of you like people who have maybe been shy about approaching are going to. And for some of you, like that may be a very beautiful thing. There may be great opportunities coming in, like we talked about. And then it's like acting on those. So like all kinds of communication I'm feeling coming through for a lot of people actually. Like it's not just that original message. There's so many different things that could be happening as far as communication goes, and people just really feeling the desire to do that. Like Leo is that energy that wears its heart on its sleeve, right? And so just that beautiful, almost childlike, like Leo has a very childlike energy. So nurturing our inner child, like, and playing, having that fun, that creativity and all of that. And like really wanting, like toning down some of this aggressive Mars communication if we can, and moving into that playful, childlike Leo communication. That fun, like keeping things light in the areas that we can right now, and just really, and it won't be difficult with this alignment like we talked about with Mercury, the sun, and the moon, really keeping it to ourselves as well, keeping our thoughts on ourselves and our dreams and desires for ourselves. And just when we have communication, that beautiful heartfelt communication, right? Like being bold and being courageous and taking that leap, if that leap is worth taking, but doing it from the heart, embracing that heart energy. And then it's just like revolution. I love how the revolution card is number 44. This is what we're building up to, you guys. This is a revolution. We have an internal revolution going on with each and every one of us, and we have a planetary revolution going on. And so we are in training for this revolution and for the parts that we are going to play next in this revolutionary experience that we're all having right now. So it's like a revolution in so many different ways. I'm hearing and I'm feeling for a lot of you like a sexual revolution as well. Like Mars is the planet that represents our sexuality as well, right? Like our stamina, that primal sexual instinct within us. And so yeah, there's a revolution going on with that for a lot of people too. So some of you may be getting messages from people who are kind of looking to hook up, who maybe admire you a lot and have like this passion and this fire. Like some of you may realize, there may be people coming out, secret admirers, people that you didn't even know were admiring you from afar and now have the courage to step up. I mean, we got all this Mars energy, this sexual revolutionary energy, and then we've also got this Leo energy. The 5th house is the house of dating, which is the house that Leo rules, right? It's like Leos are very fun and very playful and all of that. So yeah, I mean, there may be a lot of that going on as well. There may be a lot of people mingling and a lot of like announcements being made where stuff like that goes. Like, just it's gonna be interesting. And then under that we have Saturn, truth. So truth's being revealed, truth's coming out. Where truth has been withheld for whatever reason, whether we were withholding that truth from ourselves or we were withholding that truth from others, like I said, for whatever reason that may be, like that's coming out. For some of us, it's this realization, these epiphanies that we're having that are leading us to a deeper truth. It's all about that deeper truth right now. The truth about our desires, the truth about our passions, the truth about like who and what it is that we love, what brings us joy, what really lights that fire within us, right? That passion within us that that makes us feel that fresh, beautiful Leo energy of a child, right? Of a child looking at the world with awe and wonder. Like there's just so much coming through. So many, for some of you, this is like extreme psychic downloads and truth that comes in around that, truth that comes in for your life purpose, truth that comes in of the way that you truly feel, what it is that you truly want, what it is, like I said, seeing through some of those blocks and those obstacles, seeing how the pieces all lined up together. I mean, and it's going to be crazy energy. And then under that, we have Jupiter return benefits. So that's all of that abundance that's on our way, right? This cycle of karmic returns I'm feeling for people. Like karmic returns as we've, and I was feeling this energy actually with what we have, this ongoing square that we have between Mars and Pluto and Saturn. Like it's moving out of square with Jupiter, but it's still going to be squaring Pluto and Saturn, I believe, at least for the rest of this month. But I'm feeling the heavy karmic energy with that too. So we're working through some heavy karmic shit. And on the end of that is like incredible rewards. Rewards for energies from past lives, from things that effort that we've put in this life. As we were talking about that, like taking the necessary steps and playing our part as far as in this co-creative dance with spirit and actually taking constructive action in our lives. Like the people that have been doing that and have been putting in the work and have been just having that faith, right? Jupiter's all about that faith and that trust. They have been having that faith and that trust despite what the outer world is showing them. Like we said, right? There are going to be returns for that. We are going to see those dividends paying out, basically. And then on the bottom again, we have Aquarius, I know. And we're going to end it with that. That's the energy that wraps it up. The energy of we know. We see and then we know. And then from that place of knowing, we then act. This is the revolutionary energy, Aquarius, that Uranian energy, that energy, this age of Aquarius that we're entering. As we all see, we understand the part that we have to play. We step into our empowerment, and then we move forward with that in a way that benefits ourselves and the entire collective. We are one, right? I am you and you are me. And so we are... And together we're trudging this road of happy destiny, right? I felt like I wanted to rhyme, so I tried to pull myself back, but I just really wanted to do it. I could not help myself. But that's what it is. Like we're seeing that and we're coming together and we're seeing, like for some of us, we are drawing in those people who are going to aid us in our soul mission as we step into this empowerment. Those are some of those benefits that are coming up for people. And I'm not even trying to keep going here. I don't know why I shuffled, you guys. I do this sometimes. I can't help it. I get so into the energy. So we have the void of course moon missing. And then we have number 33, the 9th house, faith. And this is the house that Jupiter rules, right? And so this is like where have you been missing your faith? Where has your faith been lacking? And sort of seeing that and understanding that, like we were talking about, and really seeking those experiences, seeking those people, seeking those things that renew our faith. Like we're going through a renewal of faith right now for a lot of people who have felt faithless, especially with this square going on right now with Mars and Jupiter, and with everything that we've been dealing with, like bringing that back into our lives, bringing all of that. I'm feeling like that 9th house energy back in. I'm feeling like somebody is missing someone. Somebody is missing someone, and they're being told to have faith. They're being told to hold on, and they're being told to have faith. So that's interesting. Yeah, that's why those cards came out. So if there's someone out there right now who's watching this that's really missing someone, that feels like there's this piece of the puzzle that's missing from their lives, like have faith. Understand that there is a divine order, there is divine timing at work, and everything is unfolding exactly the way it's meant to unfold. So just continue to focus on your personal journey. Just continue to persevere, to step into your empowerment, to really learn who you are, and to become that warrior that you are. And like, just the universe is saying, I got your back, basically. So that's why I was shuffling, because somebody needed that message. Somebody needed that message. Whatever, for any of you, whatever it feels like you're missing, just have faith that it's never missing at all. We're never really separate. Separation is an illusion. That's one of the biggest illusions that we're here to dispel right now, is this illusion of separation. And that's going to help as well. Just remembering that nothing is ever separate, and that we are always, everyone we love is with us, always, always, always. Everything we need, we already have within us. And it's just like regaining your faith in that. I feel like somebody, or maybe a few of you, have lost that faith, and you're kind of drifting in that void of course kind of place where you're like, I don't know what I believe in anymore. I thought that I knew, and I thought that I understood, and I thought that these things, or this person, or this whatever was coming to me, and now I'm just like, maybe it's not, maybe I'm wrong. And the universe is saying, like, trust yourself, trust your instincts, have faith, and remember that we are never truly apart. And then on the bottom of the deck we have Chiron, healing, which is perfect, because we have so much intense healing going on right now, as we always do, right? So that is your new moon in Leo reading. I love you all so very, very much. If you feel called to do so, there's a link down below to donate to my channel. It helps to support all this beautiful free content that I absolutely love making for you guys. Also, check out my services in the description box below if you need some assistance. This is a very intense time. It is my mission to help empower you, to help you to understand, to move past anything that's blocking you from the true, full, authentic expression of who you are, so that you can then find your divine purpose and your mission. Like, we are growing together. Anyone who found this channel, who's still watching this video at this point, like, you have a divine life purpose and mission. We have multiple purposes, but you have one that is asking to be fulfilled, and it is my mission to help you to meet the person that you are ready to become. So reach out for any of those services, healings, readings, the ascension charts, you name it. We can do it. We will tailor something to address whatever it is that you're going through right now, so that you can become the greatest and most empowered version of yourselves that you can possibly be, and really fulfill that divine blueprint that your soul came here to fulfill. I love you all so very, very much. Hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't yet and you want to catch more videos. And if this resonated with you, drop a comment. You know, like, my interactions with you guys is the thing I love the most about doing this work. Have a wonderful, wonderful night. Have an incredible new moon. Really embrace that energy and ride that wave of that momentum and that energy, because it is calling to you. What you want wants you. Have a good night.